What's good, y'all? It's DPJ, Purified, coming to you on this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to set up and build your home studio. And build it on the verge and with the quality of the industry standard studios. So we're just going to talk about different equipment you need and that you can use, and how to set it up and make it work so that you can have your studio at your home. You know, because a lot of times with busy lives, producers, we're not able to get to the studio all day when you have different things going on in your life. So having with technology the way it is, it's crazy. It allows you to bring your studio and not have a large space. As you can see, my studio, it's not that big of a space, just a room I took in one of my basement rooms and just turned it into my home studio. So you don't need much space. Just getting the right equipment and setting it up is the key. For starters, I'll say the most important piece of equipment you can buy for your studio is going to be your computer. This is the mother of it all. It runs everything. It controls everything. It will determine most of the time if you're going to have success and less headaches and problems. So definitely, you know, what PC or Mac or computer you go with is important. And you know, the price range can vary, just depends on, you know, how much you want to spend, what kind of things you want to do with your home studio, how many audio tracks you want to be able to record and run. So the computer, I got a MacBook Pro. It's an iCore i7 processor. I got 16 gig of RAM inside of it. I got an SSD solid state hard drive for my main, and I run 2 external hard drives for my samples. So that's something you want to do. Make sure you get at least an external hard drive so you can load all your sounds and samples onto. Another thing that I recommend if you're building a home studio, I would say do it with a laptop versus a desktop. And it's important because with the laptop, it allows you to be portable without the headache of having to transfer files and do different things. Because it's like right now, if I get a call to California or somewhere, anywhere, to a studio session, I have to leave. It's so easy for me to just pack this little baby up and bring it with me. It's very user friendly. Bring it on the road and you have everything built in. You know, I have one of my external hard drives, I'm trying to show you, mounted onto my MacBook Pro. So pretty much I just bring my laptop when I have to go to another studio or, you know, do a session, and everything is with me. And it really is a lifesaver, because before I had a desktop and a laptop, you know, and I was using the desktop as my home studio. But when I would have to travel, I would have to start transferring files, and it was just a headache. You know, files were coming up wrong. So I just say use a laptop. You know, there are more than qualified and able to run studios, very sufficient. You know, this actually runs studio better than my desktop was running in my iMac. So definitely use a laptop, I recommend, because it just makes you portable, makes it easy. Alright. And another key thing is dual monitors when you're setting up a studio. You know, it's really user friendly having 2 monitors. It makes a difference, because you can set up your screens so you can have your sequencer, everything on one screen, then you can have your mixer or, you know, your editor control on another screen, you know, and it's real easy going back and forth, especially mixing. When you pull up your plugins, having them on one screen without having to interfere with what's going on your actual studio DAW. You know, so dual monitors, I definitely recommend. You can get, you know, like a separate monitor like this, you know, anywhere $100, $150. You can get, you know, an external monitor. So that's something I recommend as well. That's important. The next set of equipment is your sound card. I have the Apple G1 sound card. It's made just for Mac, but it doesn't matter. There's a lot of different choices you can choose as far as going with a sound card. You can go with the M-Audio, Tascam makes one. The Pro Tools Inbox, that's very popular. Presonus Firewall, they make sound card. The Motu is another really good sound card. There's no right or wrong. But the sound card is very important because it goes hand in hand with your computer. So you want to make sure you got a nice sound card. It'll determine, the latency that you're getting, that you can run, so it feels like you're playing in real time. And you'll need it to run, if you're using a microphone, any external instruments, you can run it into your sound card as well. The next set is the monitors. That's key. I have the KRK Rockets. These are the 8s. Monitors are very important, for mixing and playback, so you can hear how it sounds. So definitely get some monitors. Those are important. Some mixing monitors that you want to hear. Also have the sub, the KRK sub, because in the hip hop and other different rim, the club field is very important, and it allows you to get a live feel of what it's gonna sound like when it's in the clubs or with people with bass in their car with 808s. So having that is very important as well. You also, with a home studio, you may not have enough space if you have multiple boards, like keyboards. So I just have, in my situation, I just have a MIDI controller. It's an M-Audio 61 key station. It controls MIDI, and I run all the sounds, from my computer and samples. So this board here doesn't have sounds built into it. It just controls all the sounds and VSTs and plugins that I have sample-wise loaded on my hard drives. And I'll go into more explanation in later videos, once I get into that segment. Then I also have a drum pad. This gives you a different feel. You can load samples not directly into this, but it goes hand in hand with the sequencer that I use, and I'll show and go into depth a little bit on the later videos on that as well. But for people that love to use drum pads, you can get an MPD. It doesn't have sounds, it can't play sounds. It's kind of like the MIDI controller board. It can trigger, but it's for feel. If you want that feel of hitting the drum pads, so that's why I use that. It's not expensive at all. $100. You can get a nice drum pad controller like the MPD. Also, you can get a mixer. With a home studio, it's not required. You don't have to have a mixer. I have it specifically for when artists come over, and I'm recording vocals with artists. It helps me as far as not having to cut off the monitors and the speakers when I want to play back, to not get feedback. So I can control the monitor levels and headphone levels. So that's why I use it. Then also for vocals, while we're on that subject, a preamp. This is nice to have for vocals. I recommend having a preamp, a mic preamp. I have a tube, Bellari, not super expensive, but it just gives that warm sound to your vocals and add that, helps give you that professional sound. I have a nice mic. Now, if you're doing vocals in your home studio, I also recommend spend quality money on a nice mic. I have a Neumann mic, and you'll be surprised. Many people tell me, dude, how do you get your vocals like that? Like I got this, I got that, but then they kind of take the cheap route on the microphone. So that's very important. Get you a nice solid mic, test it out, go to your local store, Guitar Center, anywhere, and test out those mics, because that makes a difference. Got the mic popper here, definitely need that to clean up the vocals and the P's and make sure it's not popping. And then I have the SE vocal. This helps for your vocals as well. It deadens the sound. So that's something. Again, you don't have to have that. I went a lot of years doing vocals without it, but since I've had it, I've noticed it really cleans up the vocals and helps you when it comes to mixing, because there's just so much you don't have to do, because it cleans up the sound when it comes in already. So that's something. So as you can see, that's pretty much the studio. It doesn't take much to build a nice quality professional home studio. Now, there's still a lot in the software that gives you the sound, but we'll go over that in later videos. I just wanted to give you an idea of just equipment you need that can fit in a small space for a home studio. So this DPJ Purified, stay tuned. There's more videos coming. We're really gonna get in depth and talk about how to really get your sound right. So stay with me. Go on.